Hello, everyone. Welcome to God's According to CD. So, guys, let's make some sense of some few things that were exposed by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi this past Sunday. You know, now in hindsight, one is thinking and one is trying to say, wait a minute, there are some few things that one is discovering. Of course, people now are beginning to put one and one together. Others are connecting the dots, and the dots are leading back to two individuals. Obviously, the first individual, we've heard the name from Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, this Brown Mkhotsi. Now, there's another individual that just entered the chat by the name of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. I don't know who this individual is. I've been living under a rock without Wi-Fi for a while, but turns out that this individual, guys, before I go any further, these are allegations. They are not factual. No court of law has come to a conclusion whether this is true or not. So I'm just going to say allegedly for that purpose. Now, let's go back to this alleged Vusi Cat Matlala. Now, Vusi Cat Matlala, from what I understand, is that he's a businessman. He owns a VIP protection security company. Now, in my head, when I hear the word VIP security, it means that this individual's company protects VIPs. And most of the VIPs that I'm aware of in our country is your politicians. That includes MMCs, mayors, premiers, possibly even the president of the Republic of South Africa, right? Through tenders, of course. And this could be a tender that could worth billions of rands, because you have to think about it. How many ministers do we have? How many mayors do we have? How many MMCs do we have? And also, who is dominating this particular industry? Okay, I understand in KwaZulu-Natal is the Governor brothers that allegedly the ones that are protecting the KZN VIPs, which are the politicians, and then clearly in Gauteng and possibly even in the Northwest, goodness knows where else, this is done so by probably the Cat Matlala security company. I don't know. So this means that this Vusi Cat Matlala is politically connected, right? And now the question I was asking myself when Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi mentioned how some artists were unalived. Now, the question was, who are the artists? And I came here before and I asked, who are the artists that passed on in a horrendous way in 2021? And some of y'all said DJ Something. I saw a lot of you say DJ Something is a person that is coming to mind around that time. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know who DJ Something is. Clearly, I'm not a groover, but it's just sad that somebody could have lost their lives because goodness knows for what. Now, the dots are being connected back to this individual allegedly called Vusi Matlala. And allegedly, DJ Something used to peddle something with Vusi Matlala. Allegedly, I'm not saying this is a fact, I don't know. Allegedly used to peddle. And when somebody uses the word peddle, in my head, it means either smuggling, so I don't know. I would assume smuggling of white powder or something like that. And I've asked the question before, and I will ask it again. Now that we see a lot of the so-called influencers when they travel, clearly now that you understand that this Matlala individual is politically connected, he could send a girl anywhere, to Brazil, to Dubai, wherever, to pick up something that we in our country consider as illegal, and it's brought into the country because they're not going to get caught anyways. They are not going to experience any problems at the airport simply because the individual that sent this influencer overseas is politically connected. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying here. This is just me and my brain going wild after these accusations. Right now, I don't trust anybody, especially in the police, especially in the security cluster, in now the judiciary as well. I don't trust anybody. So things could move in and out of the country easily as long as you are politically connected the right way. Now, it turns out the individual that was unalived, the would DJ something, used to work for allegedly Vusi Matlala. And then the other part that the Portfolio Committee for Police, Ian Cameron, the chairperson, yesterday in Parliament, this is what he revealed.
Then I want to move over to the matter of Mr. Vusi Musi Kat Motlala. 8 weeks ago, we started questioning matters of how Mr. Motlala continuously gets accreditation from the Private Security Regulatory Authority despite his past transgressions. Now, you'd remember a few months ago, SARS conducted a raid at Miss Mkhize's home, the owner of a well-known soccer club. During that raid, a whole cache of firearms were seized. All of those firearms were registered to a security company belonging to none other than Mr. Kat Motlala. Now, after questioning Sira about how on earth they continued to allow accreditation, the answer was that they couldn't find a transgression. Now, if it were you or I that kept firearms illegally at a property where they're not registered to be kept and that's not fit and proper for keeping those firearms, we would not only face criminal procedures, but we would obviously have our firearms seized. Well, all of the firearms were returned to the said security company, and up until now, despite the parliamentary question submitted 2 months ago, again, unfortunately, no answer.
And it's true. If you and I, the police, come into our house with a search warrant and they find that sort of confinement of firearms, we would be in jail for possession. We would be in jail for possession of firearms and ammunition of that magnitude. But no. Number one, this woman, she is in the spotlight for tax invasion and other goodness knows what else. And then she's in her house. This is what is found. Now, you have to ask yourself this question as well, fellow South Africans. Is it possible that some of these VIP protection security companies also act as inkabi? No, it's a question, guys. Because if these VIP protection security companies are politically connected and are also protected by these politicians, if a politician comes to the head of the security and say, hey, comrade, I'm having a threat here and I would like this threat to be dealt with. And then the owner of the security company says, no, I'll get my best man to do it. Now you have to look at the whistleblower. What was her name again? The Indian lady, Vavita. I'm sorry to butcher her name. That example. So you have to ask yourself a question, because Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi mentioned that some firearms that were seized, they are connected to high-profile unalivings. So which firearms were those? And why were they taken from Mamkize's house and returned to this particular security company? It's the questions that I am asking. These are the questions that we all should be asking, fellow South Africans. What is happening? What is going on? Oh yeah, as I was saying, the individual that was unalived allegedly was that he worked for Kat Motlala. Allegedly, he worked for him. Now the question is, what did he see? What did he know? What did he want to expose? Did he want to leave? Because in the mafia world, you do not leave. You can't walk out. You know too much. The only way to leave is on your back. That's how you leave a mafia or the underworld. There's no way they're going to risk you opening your mouth to people, even though you say, no, I will never tell anybody what I know, what I saw, or what I did. There's no way you can trust a person like that in their perspective, in that world. So they probably wanted to leave. And the question is, how many more in Ganzabantu that are tired of this and they want to leave, and they know if they left, they're going to do so on their back? This is sad. This is so sad. And then more is being exposed as well, how the girlfriends of Kat Matlala used to live. Some of them even enjoy the blue lights. So that means I am driving on the freeway and then blue lights are flashing behind me abusively and then kick me off my lane, only to find out it's not even an elected member or an official. It's a girlfriend of a businessman. The disrespect this country that we are experiencing. And this is Banana Republic. This is what Banana Republic is made of. So guys, what are your thoughts? Please comment in the comment section. If you got more dots to connect, we need to make sense of this so that at the end of the day, we know who's who in the zoo, who's for the people of South Africa and who is not. Just because somebody is a South African doesn't mean they got good intentions for us. They are the very enemies of the state. And then you look at the WhatsApp messages from this brown Mkhotsi person to General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. That, because Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, I believe, he was very close to start making arrest of these political unalivings. And then this particular individual, I'm thinking, I'm not saying he is, started sending messages to him like, listen, whatever it is that you think you have, I am associated with the Minister of Police. All of this is going to go away. And when it goes away, guess who has going to have egg on his face? More like a coffin. Guys, that's how the mafia works. That's how the mafia works. They speak low-key, but sending a strong message. And Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi understands that, even though he's acting, and he will, because he has to act as if he doesn't know what this means. But when you read between the lines, hello, this is a threat. This country is becoming scary. Actually, this country has been scary for a while. And and a whole auditor gunned down. For what? To want to expose the truth so that the people of Ekurhuleni can know the truth, why things are so bad there. It's terrible. Anyways, guys, let's continue connecting the dots. Let's continue connecting the dots. Have a good day. Bye.